This week I'll show you all the improvements we've made on the homestead. We've done quite a bit of small stuff, but quite a bit. And I will also show you that recipe I promised from last week. I told you this week we would make the 3-ingredient chocolate cookies from the egg whites that we had left over after making the creme brulee from the egg yolks. I forgot to film all the work Ulysses is doing this morning, but on my goals list was to fix the leak in the sheep shelter, and Ulysses is doing that. He's been working on it this morning. We went and bought these carriolas, and he had to solder them together, and now he's putting them up so that the roof is flush against itself, so the seams won't leak. Un poco más. Perfecto. No más. This one fit just perfectly.
We go.
Oh no! ¿Tiene?
Oiga, que los pican.
Sí. Oh, no buena. Okay, Ulysses is going to kill the bees with some gasoline. So they were in the metal tube. In the other tubes there were stingless bees, but I think they've been kicked out. So now he's turning the carriola so that it holds the roof really tight. And then he'll screw it in from the top. I was just telling him the great thing about this is I climb on the roof to get the rose apples or water apples, and it was never very safe, and I had to be careful to be on a carriola, and now the roof's going to be much safer for me to climb. So we worked hard today, and I picked up my camera briefly to show you the work on the sheep shelter, and then I put it down and forgot to pick it back up. So I thought I'd walk around the farm and show you what got done today. One thing, very minor, but not to Bonnie. That's not Bonnie, that's Peaches. But Bonnie is allergic to grass, and she hates the tall grass. So this was cut, and she's very happy. Let me show you what's next. The sheep shelter has been cleaned up. He widened the path here just to make it easier. If you look at my legs, they're covered in grass seed. Sorry, I spaced for a second. My legs are covered in grass seed, so he widened this so I would get less grass seed on me. So the sheep shelter is fixed. He put these 2 support beams in, and he went on top of the roof and he taped all the seams. He said there was actually a hole where the water was dripping through that he found. So that's been taped up. And he used, there's a roofing tape you use with these kind of roofs. And so here are the sheep. They're very dirty. Well, she's very dirty, But I think she likes to lay in the mud, and hopefully it's started to dry up because we haven't gotten too much rain in the past 2 days. But hopefully it'll really dry up now that that's not leaking anymore. He also got rid of most of the bees. I still see some that were living in the tubes, and I'm going to cover the tubes. So that's one thing. I still have to work on this. I may use this as an extra spot to put a mama and her lambs and segregate them so I can make sure that they're eating well and they're healthy. I'm hoping I don't need to do that, but I may need that, so I'd like to get it ready. Again, I still think I have about 5 weeks minimum, 2 months maximum before they start giving birth. And so hopefully, some of them look like they're moving along pretty quickly, but I'm hoping that's the case. So let me tell you what else was done today. Okay, my little chicks are growing up. I gotta give them a little more food. And it's time for them, hi puppies, hi girls. It's time for them to start getting out. So we put this little door here. It's a little bit steep, but they should be able to climb out it. We're not gonna let them out till tomorrow or the next day for 2 reasons. I'm gonna show you one of the reasons through the wire. I'm not sure if you could see on the ground over there. There's all little balls. That is the fruit from the Nancy tree. It's also called in the U.S. golden spoon. And the golden spoon fruit, it's really acidic. I don't like it, but I've never tried it in chicha or in marmalade. And so Mario and Ulysses have been taking it home, and Jesse and Yanni are making, I think, marmalade today. So I think I'm going to try some tomorrow. I am going to let you out in 1 second. The sheep are all in the room, so it's a good time to let them out. So that was done today. That took a little bit of work. I used the circular saw for the first time in my life. I think the first time in my life. First time that I remember. Nothing was done in here, but while we're here, I just wanted to go check. Oh, and I have tomatoes in my hand, so I wanted to drop these. See if anyone comes running for them. Yep. So they came running out. Ooh, duck, get some while you can. So chickens could eat red tomatoes. They're not supposed to eat green tomatoes. They're not supposed to eat tomato plants. The leaves and the stems all have, what's it called? Oh gosh, I'm not even going to attempt to say the chemical in it because I'll say it wrong. But it's it's supposed to be not great for us to eat them. Although I know a lot of people eat green tomatoes. It's not supposed to be great. And they're not supposed to have it at all. I just thought while we're here, let me show you my gorgeous pepper plant. It's looking great. I've pulled a ton of peppers off of it. We did go check on the corn, and the corn looks fabulous. I'll show it to you right now. The dogs destroyed another one of their beds. I think I showed you that. So they have no bed. They have a blanket now. It's not quite enough, in my opinion, but they don't seem to care. Okay, let's walk over. Okay, I was telling Ulysses this area from here to the back where the fence for the corn is where I will put pigs if I ever get pigs. I don't know if I mentioned that in my goals, because it's not really a goal. It's just a potential long-term thing that might happen, I guess. I'm not sure I want to do that or not, but I do like pork, so it would be nice. So before we go to the corn, I'll show you that this side of this area, this little area strip here, has been separated out last year because I was going to do something with it, never did. There's no fence on the other side. Ulysses cut down the grass here today, and tomorrow he's going to plant a grass that's good for the sheep called Cuba 22, Cuba 22 is the grass. It's like a cane grass, and it will be good to give to the sheep during the dry season. So that's going to go in here, and he will probably plant that tomorrow if we can get some. I have a little bit, but we're going to try and get some more. And then put a fence on the other side, hopefully with a door like this. He did fix this door for me. It still takes some strength for me to open it, but it's much easier than it was. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I open it. So it's been 6 days, maybe 7 days. No, 6 days since he planted the corn. And you probably wouldn't see it if you didn't know and I didn't point it out. But here, right here, this is the corn growing. So if you go up the row, you'll see there's corn growing. I lose it a little here. Oh, here we go. More corn growing. So he tried to drop, he was using the machine. He was trying to drop 2 seeds in each hole, but some of them have 3, some have 4, some have 1. But we should get corn. So it's growing all along here. Here's one. So that's good news. It seems to be growing well. To start, in a couple weeks, we will put some fertilizer down. Last year I used conventional fertilizer. This year we're going to use sheep pellets or sheep manure. So I don't know if we're going to take the manure from my compost or take fresh manure, make sure they have no hay, because we really don't want to seed the hay. And we'll give them some, we'll put manure between the rows of corn, and the rain will soak it down into the ground. So they get to play every night for a little while. I wish they could play all day, but they still chase the sheep. So the sheep are locked up. They won't bother them. But what happens is they'll get near the sheep knowing the sheep will run, and they just think it's an awesome game to play. So typically I don't let them run around too much when the sheep are out. And I'm going to go start locking up the chickens while they're running around. And they can get under the fence if they really want to. They've done it once or twice. But one, they're going to see the chickens now themselves. One, they're not really inclined to. And 2, one of them went to the chickens and one went to get water. Oh, here we go. Okay, come on this way. No chickens for you. And they're not going to go far. They stay close. Ulysses is here again today, and so much gets done on the farm when he's here. I thought I'd show you what he did today. So we're walking through what is the orchard, and we did plant a bunch more trees in here. I'm not sure if I showed that, but we planted 3 cacao and 1 lemon and 1 orange tree, I think. And then today, in here, Ulysses planted grass. So it's a cane grass, and it's going to be used for the sheep. But if you go back, the sheep are locked out. So he put up this fence and put up this gate, which we took from the barn. I think it opens. Oh yeah, it'll open. It'll open, I just have to figure it out. But this way the sheep can't go in there. And this will grow, and then we'll have some greens for them in the summertime. So, and then right next to that is where our corn is. So I'm looking at the corn from an area that I used to not walk up to because it was so overgrown, but that Ulysses cut back, I think last week. So the corn is growing. I can actually see some of it from here. You probably can't, but there's a whole bunch growing. So it's coming in nicely. The sheep have been enjoying eating back here. So, and the dogs have been enjoying playing back here, the little puppies. And then we did put 4 chickens and the rooster in freezer camp today. I just had way too many eggs. So they will make soup here in Panama. Most people eat chicken soup every day. I don't, but most people do. We clipped the wings of the younger chickens and opened up their door. And I pushed 2 of them outside. I put 2 of them on top of the door. And I don't know if they came out for a little while or not. But here you can see the door right about there. But they have all gone back in. So I'm going to leave them. It took the other chickens about more or less a week before they were venturing, like wanting to go out every day. And every day more and more of them ventured out. Every day I kicked more and more of them out. So tomorrow I'll do the same. I'll just grab 4 and shoo them outside. And maybe 6. There are 12 of them. And get them all outside by the end of the week. And we'll start over again. And they'll be going out. Part of the reason we removed the rooster was because he was very dominant, much older than them, and we were afraid that he would really pick on them. The female hens will pick on them a little, but they won't be nearly as aggressive. And because they're outside together but not inside together, they should be okay. I was going to show you the garden area next that we put together and explain why we're stopping where we are. But Ulysses now is working on my backyard, cutting that down. I think we'll go over there, but it might be too loud. Okay, so hopefully I can speak over that. But here is the garden. We took the first, right over here, where you see that one laying across. There was another arch. It does go 60 feet. I think you could see pretty much all of it. And we were gonna keep going, but this very tall tree here needs to come down. I think it's really good wood. I think I can sell it. But it needs to come down because it's half in the road and it's gonna fall down. And it's a little too close to the house. This is not the house. This is my well house and my storage area. But my water tank is right there and the house is right on the other side of it. And we really think we need to leave this open to give it room to fall. Because I just want to try and avoid ruining my fence, which is right there. I have a chain link fence all along the side there. And I am going to try and not ruin the house. So where the garden is going is exactly where that tree needs to fall. So we're going to try and get that down this week and then continue working on the garden. We're losing some time, but it's not the end of the world. We have a really long season. So the rain will keep going till mid-December. So we have 6 months still. So we should be fine. Forget what I was going to say. But yeah, we have time. It would be nice to start growing now and take advantage of the long season. But it's fine if we wait a little while. So today we're going to make the chocolate cookies with the egg whites. And I didn't have enough powdered sugar, and I looked in town and couldn't find any to make the full 3 egg whites. So I'm going to make the, 6 egg whites is what I had. So I put what I think is about 2 egg whites in the bowl, and that's what the typical recipe calls for anyway, is 2 egg whites. So we're going to do that. It's 2 egg whites, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and I did a little teeny bit extra, but I usually find that I end up adding extra. And then it's a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon of cocoa powder. I don't measure that carefully, so I just do a heaping 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And then we're just gonna mix that all together, see what we get. Ooh, besides a mess. Yes, I am making a mess. Now I am going to add a pinch of salt. It's called a 3-ingredient cookie. Doesn't call for salt, but salt just makes everything better. So a few lumps of powdered sugar, but other than that, it looks like it came out great. So you can see it's still pretty liquidy, and I always think it's going to be a little too liquidy, but it always seems to work. So I think it's a very forgiving recipe. The oven should be at 320 degrees. Here the ovens are not that precise. I do have a temperature gauge in there, a thermometer in there, and it's just over 300. These might be a little thin, but we'll make some big flat cookies. So we'll put these in the oven, I think for 8 to 12 minutes, but I'll double check on that and let you know how they come out. So I just took them out of the oven, and I think they're ready. They've got a little dark on the bottom, but I think they'll be fine. I am just gonna slide them onto the rack to cool, and I'm gonna make a second batch. So I let them cool a little bit. Unfortunately, we occasionally get flies in the house. I'm going to take the smallest one. This is what they look like. These are probably a little overcooked, but they came out good. They're delicious. They're a little bit chewy and a little bit crunchy and a little bit chocolatey. They're delicious. Thanks for joining us this week. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you can follow along as we build the homestead, and hit the bell so that you're notified when our next video comes out. We'll see you next week. Bye.